Today's workout was, basic day one for me. This is my strength cycle. This is squat day and bench day. I've moved to a 3-day-a-week program now. Once I move into strength, it gives me a little bit more time to recover than I use during the high volume block. I'm not going to be able to hit a second lift after 10 by 10, but I can hit my 5x5 weight and my 3x3s pretty easily. One after the other. So this is what a standard training session like that looks like on week 3 when I'm hitting my triples. I use a slingshot as an accessory lift. I also use some Blue Magic slingshot wraps as a accessory again. Allows me to handle some more weight, more volume, and I guess maybe after being in the Arnold booth all weekend, that's if I can been hammered home, that's not a bad idea. There's enough people being successful with that I'm going to keep using it, and it's worked great for me. Waiting for the weather to start getting better so I can start throwing a little bit more, but till then, this is a standard training session. What you're not going to see is the 30 minutes of mobility work afterwards. Cheers. So this is a pretty standard warm-up. I like to do a little bit of cardio to go ahead and start the session of whatever it is I'm going to do, kind of get blood flow and get things loose. And it's shitty and rainy out, so instead of a walk or a little bit of a jog or even some light prowler pushes, hop on the rowing machine here, bang out a 500 meter, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make my way to the squat bar. I really like the rowing machine. It's been a great tool for me to add to my training. Kind of full body everything. I can work on trying to keep the upper back stiff and then letting the shoulders go through the full range of motion. Same with the hips and the knees and ankles. So it's been pretty important for me, and I can do every bit of hurt I want to do to myself as far as rowing and cardio that I can possibly think of on this thing, the same way I could with the prowler. It's willing to sit there and let you work as hard as you want to, and I like stuff like that. So that and less excuse, you can kind of zone out on it. The biggest issue I have with the rower, honestly, is you're really fucking bored, and so I have to play stupid games with the distances and times and stuff like that to even stay moderately entertained for anything over about 1,000 meters. So today my warm-up was, I only really filmed one round of it, but I did 3 rounds of a 500 and then some squats, and just kept the weights the same the last three rounds of the squats, but you'll see just kind of one straight to the other, just trying to get some blood into the legs, get ready for the workout. But not too bad, pretty good way. I'm pretty happy with the way that feels. Getting a chance to use my slingshot knee cuffs and try to do some repair from being at the Arnold for 2 days on my feet, 2.5 days. Thing was pretty brutal as far as just standing on your feet. And really, really, really inspiring to see the number of people that came by the booth that talked about how much Mark's invention of the slingshot has helped them, and how much it's helped them hit goals and repair, and I guess keep making progress. So it'd be nice to one day be able to affect people the same way that guy does. He's a really inspiring friend to be around. So it's always great to be around Marky. That's what I call him, because we're cute with each other. So you can see, kind of just banged out 10 with the bar, and then go ahead and slap on some plates. I've got these little 5-pound training plates, and this was an old tip I kind of got from Mark years ago, is these plates basically feel like they weigh nothing, but they are 5 pounds each, and so you slap those on and just basically don't count them to the weight. And so by the end of the week, you're doing a lot of extra reps with a lot of extra weight, and I think it adds up over time. It's not a whole hell of a lot, but it's a little. And every little bit's going to count as long as you're consistent and training hard. So this is 25 kilos per side. I don't know what that math is. So what, 50, 70 kilos total on the bar. I would basically just call this 155. If I'm squatting and stuff like that, I like to do it in pounds, despite that my plates are all kilos. And if I'm doing Olympic lifts, I like to do those in kilos. I don't know why, but I do. And I guess at the end of the day, like the amount of weight on the bar really doesn't fucking matter to me. It depends on how I feel and what type of stress I'm putting the body under. You know, the body's going to have to respond to that anyway, and that's where the the progress is going to come. You know, it's going to be stress to the body, then mixed with rest and being able to regrow and rebuild the muscle tissue. You can see I kind of just jumped back into these pretty quick. I mean, as you can see the clock ticking away in the background. This is sub 5 minutes into my workout, and I'm 2 sets of squats in and a 500 row, and was able to play with the clock a little bit each set here until I got into my squat. So that was one of those. I did 2 more of those before I got into this. This was about the heaviest weight I went up to in the warm-up sets, and then switched to my box. Sticking with the box, as since I'm still having some pain in my hips and everything. Everything is getting better, but when the time comes for me to start throwing, I don't need to be dealing with pain from squatting. I need to be ready to throw the best I can. In addition to the rest of the stuff I'm doing with my first couple sets here, everything's really warming up till the work sets. And so, some hip swings and getting the legs and hips as healthy as I can be. Today for work, I spent almost 6 hours in my truck, and recovering from that's going to be key to try to get the workout going. So this is just trying to get the hips loose. This is pretty standard. I cover all this in my hip program, Shakira. And that's going to help me get ready to squat and get things moving. And I don't know if lubing the joints up makes any sense as far as a practical standpoint, but that's what I basically feel like I'm trying to do. They're stiff and tight, and this is just going to get things moving a little dynamically. So, back on to the next set. Back to the box. I really don't care about depth either. I was able to squat pretty well to depth for 505 for 10 after doing high squats for 10 weeks when I was at super training last, and if I needed to do it again, I could do it again. That day would punish me, but these are work days, and so now I'm just going to handle whatever I can handle and go to the bar, go to whatever is going to be a pain-free lift for me. I'm also not sitting back on the box like you would see a traditional box squat. I would say a powerlifting or West Side style box. I'm basically just using it as a depth gauge, and it's a little tricky too. I'm not getting a lot of rebound out of the bottom, so I'm having to personally use myself to slow down instead of just slamming the box. Otherwise, that would be bad for the back. So I'm just trying to really touch it and then fire back up. Today my right IT band was the issue, and so just kind of getting a feeling out for it. This is moving towards some of the heavier sets. I think this may be the last or the heaviest set I did without knee wraps. And I ended up, this was the last set of 3 at this weight. The other ones went pretty well. So dropped the weight down just a little bit, moved into some knee wraps, and banged out another 3 sets here, I believe. And I think on the last set of 3, I went ahead and did 5. I treat these the same way I treat the slingshots. Slingshot lifts is I'm going to be able to put these on and do a little bit more volume. I'm not going to be in pain, and I can handle more weight for more reps, which over time is going to put more strain on the legs and let me get stronger. The key for me, or the key for any athletes, is that I'm not trying to get hurt in my gym lifting. All of this is GPP for me trying to compete and be a better thrower or whatever sport it is I'm competing at. Be smart in your training and save yourself for competition. If you're going to risk injury and push it, the time to do that is out on the field when it matters. So switching over to bench press, I banged out some good mornings. They're not terribly interesting, and so I didn't bother filming those. You can see me using a slingshot cuff. I know I'm wrapped up in slingshot from head to toe, but it's good products, and I've got it available. Slingshot cuff on my shoulder, having a little issue with my shoulder, having some pain in the first couple sets of bench, and it just kind of helped put some pressure on it until I got moving. By this set, I dumped it, and these are toward my top end. I think altogether this is 354-ish, and really happy with the way things are moving. My brain says that the lifts are a lot slower than they ever look on video, so I guess that's a good thing. But pretty happy with how things are. can see here my bench set up, I have a pretty solid arch and able to get my hips back under me, and I'm really going to apply pressure through my feet while I'm trying to bench. And so the bigger that arch for me and being able to push out through the stomach, through the quads, and think about driving my heels down is where I can engage my legs in that lift. And you know, all the main lifts for me, all 6 lifts are going to be a full body lift. So after hitting those, I moved up to 375 and slapped on the slingshot and hit 2 sets for decent reps. I think a little bit wider grip here to hit some different stuff. I keep on my regular sets a close grip just to focus on the triceps and the chest and some more range of motion. As an athlete, I don't, like I said, you know, less weight for more reps. I can go ahead and get the work done. This is my last set, and then I did about 30 minutes of mobility, which is really enthralling to watch me writhing around on the floor. But thanks, and cheers. The season starts here in April.